Hi. I don't know if this was a rhetorical question or not because I don't know you personally, but since you asked the question, I'd be happy to answer it. To begin with, I get it. It may appear as though these ex-Mormons that are sharing their experience on platforms like TikTok are talking about it a lot, and it may appear that they're making that their entire personality. However, statements like this or questions like this make it sound like it's filled with a lot of judgment and there's zero curiosity. Do you really want to know why people who are ex-Mormon talk about their experience? Have you ever asked them why they left the church? How they might be suffering, how they might have a lot of trauma and a lot of pain associated with their experience in the church? And are you curious to find out other parts of their personality? Like, do you have any interest in me and my hobbies, my family, my friends, my passions, my interests, my work? Those all make up my personality as well. When someone leaves a high demand religion, which has dictated their identity for so long into their adulthood, yeah, there's some baggage attached and there's a lot of deconstruction going on, and they need to process a lot of negative feelings that show up. And we use platforms like this to express those feelings. We are so lucky to have each other, to have an audience that does seek to understand us with compassion rather than judgment. I left the Mormon church at the age of 45. I left a religion that really did make up my personality, because the church dictated everything from who I could associate with, what kind of media I could consume, what kind of food and drink I could consume, what kind of words I could and couldn't say, down to my very underwear that I wore. And then to leave all of that behind, I'm leaving part of my identity behind. And when you do that, there's a mourning process. There's a grief that's associated with the loss of one's identity. And so if I were to find a friend or family member who were suffering from a loss of, say, a loved one, and they're in a moment of grief, would it be okay for me to say, oh my gosh, you're making this your entire personality? It's lacking in empathy. It's not okay. I would encourage people who still are members of the Mormon faith to really seek to understand their ex-Mormon brothers and sisters. Because yes, we were part of the faith at one point. We no longer agree on this faith, but that doesn't mean that we can't get along. I would encourage some respectful dialogue, but I would really ask that you refrain from blanket judgments like this.